advisory students, so it's Miss HC, and I am creating this video so that you have an example as you are making a read aloud to share with the elementary school students at JWL. So as you watch my example, I want you to think about things that I do well as I read aloud, things that I could improve on, and any strategies or techniques that you might want to include when you make your own read aloud video. So I'm excited to share this book with you, and I hope you enjoy it. Alright, so my name is Miss Hetherington-Coy, and today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite books for young people, which is Ada Twist, Scientist. This book is written by Andrea Beatty and illustrated by David Roberts, and I chose to share it with you today because it tells the story of a young girl who is very curious and pursues her passion for science. And it is a great example of how you can make important discoveries about the world around you, even at a very young age. So I'm really excited to share this book with you. And as I'm reading, I'm going to stop periodically and ask you some questions. And that would be a great opportunity to pause the video and discuss with the people around you. And then we'll get on a Google Meet afterwards, and we will have the chance to talk back and forth and share our ideas about this book. So I can't wait to share it with you, and I can't wait to talk. Alright, so the first thing I want to share with you is the beautiful artwork on the cover of this book. And as we look at Ada, I want you to make some observations and see what you notice about her body language, her facial expression, what she's doing, and see if you can make any predictions about some character traits that might describe Ada. What do you think she's like? So take a minute, generate your own ideas, and then pause the video and discuss with your classmates around you. Ada Marie, said not a word till the day she turned 3. She bounced in her crib and she looked all around, observing the world but not making a sound. She learned how to climb and she made her big break, leaving a trail of chaos in her wake. She ran through the day, chasing each sound in sight, and didn't slow down till she conked out at night. Her parents were frazzled, but tried not to freak, as Ada grew bigger and still did not speak. Clearly young Ada, with lots in her head, would have something to say when it ought to be said. And that's just what happened when Ada turned 3. She tore through the house on a fact-finding spree and climbed up the clock just as high as she could, and her parents yelled, "Stop!" as all good parents would. Ada's chin quivered, but she tried not to cry. She took a deep breath, and she simply asked, "Why?" Why does it tick, and why does it talk, and why don't we call it a granddaughter clock? Why are there pointy things stuck to a rose, and why are there hairs inside of your nose? She started with why, and then what, how, and when, but at bedtime she came back to why once again. She drifted to sleep as her dazed parents smiled at the curious thoughts of their curious child who wanted to know what the world was about. They kissed her and whispered, "They'll figure it out." So think back to the predictions that you made about Ada when you looked at her picture on the cover of the book. And as you observe these illustrations, are you finding any evidence to support your predictions? Take a minute and discuss with your classmates what you're seeing in these pictures. Ada was busy that first day of spring, testing the sounds that make mockingbirds sing, when a horrible stench whacked her right up the nose, a pungent aroma that curled up her toes. "Zowie," said Ada, which got her to thinking. "What is the source of that terrible stinking? How does a nose know there's something to smell? And does it still stink if there's no nose to tell?" She rattled off questions and tapped on her chin. She'd start at the start, where she ought to begin. A mystery, a riddle, a puzzle, a quest. This was the moment that Ada loved best. All right, so before I turn the page, I wonder what Ada's going to do to investigate this terrible stinking. What would you do in this situation if you had to investigate the source of a terrible smell? All right, so now that you've had a chance to think about how you would approach this problem, let's see if Ada takes any of your suggestions. All right, so Ada did research to learn all she could. Did any of you guys suggest doing research? So she researched smelling and smells, both stinky and good. One hypothesis Ada thought could be true. Terrible stink came from Dad's cabbage stew. She tested and tested, but soon Ada knew it's time to come up with hypothesis 2. Then zowie! Oh, stink struck again, just like that. Hypothesis 2. It's caused by the cat. But the cat couldn't make such a stink on its own. It would need perfume or some fancy cologne. So young Ada tested. The test was a flop. She started again, but her parents yelled, "Stop!" All right. So let's take a minute. Why do you think Ada's parents are wanting her to stop? How do you think they're feeling right now? All right, so let's see how Ada's parents are feeling. Ada Marie, to the thinking chair, now, by the time we count 3. Enough, said her mother. That's it, said her dad. Her parents were frustrated, frazzled, and mad. What? Ada questioned. Her mother said no. What? Ada queried. Her father said go. You ruined our supper. You made the cat stink. Enough with your questions. Now sit there and think. She looked at her parents and her heart turned to goo. Poor Ada Twist didn't know what to do. Alright, so now we know Ada's parents are not happy. And just a minute ago, Ada was feeling on top of her game. It was a quest. It was the moment she loved. How do you think she's feeling now when you look at her face and when you look at her body language? And why do you think Ada might be feeling this way when she was so happy a minute ago?